Welcome. My name is Christopher Ricard. I'm the fairly new park manager here at Taconic State Park, Copake Falls, and Rudd Pond. People forget that they always come for the waterfalls at Dashfish, our swimming area here. The park itself is over 3,000 acres, over 20 miles long. It's a very, I hate to say, linear park with a campground on the north end and a campground on the south end. This is our sort of the heart of our park. We have our campground right behind you guys, the waterfall out this way, our swimming area here. This is base camp, and this is where people are going to come for hiking, for our swimming, for even rail trail use. We have sort of at the moment very limited parking for our rail trail. This is going to be our very big breaking off point. So we're very, very happy that, I don't want to say our small little park. People say Copake's a small park because we're not one of the flagships, where I've worked in one before. To the community here, it's a very important economic resource. To the people that have been coming here for over 30 years, I've been stopped many times that they mention park managers' names that have been here, from Ray Doherty to Tom Schofield to names that I can't remember that go farther back. The people keep returning for good reason, and we've got nothing but very positive compliments on this park. How this all sort of started, how this process takes place, if you're not sure of how our capital projects sort of work, I'll make this brief. But every year, each park in the entire Taconic region that runs from Yonkers all the way up to us here in Columbia County, we submit what some of our biggest priorities are, whether they're the bathrooms in the campground, whether there are roadways and parking lots, which are some of our biggest priorities in state parks right now. Money is basically broken out from our state parks budget, our capital budget, and people like Garrett Jobson and Tech Services, Linda Cooper, Ray Doherty, my predecessor here, sort of have their war room, and with the funding they have, they get to pick sort of what projects take place. And of course, a lot of the time you put a lot of the money into where your revenue generating parks is. And at Taconic State Park, we generate a lot of revenue from camping and from our cabins and cottages here. But this parking lot, as you can see from these pictures, needed a whole lot of love. And this is not just our parking lot, this is our roadway, our gateway into our park, all the way down from our new park office, which was donated from Dr. Lucy Waletsky. You were going from a brand new park office into teeth-chattering potholes up the road. So this investment has just been, it's been a wonderful blessing for all of us here. We really appreciate it. Some people I want to thank quickly are obviously the Tech Services Department, Garrett Jobson leading the crew, Dan Seymour, Mike Calenti, and all the other folks that work in that office to do the surveying, to do the pictures for our presentation today, to do the planning, working with Barton LaJudas, our design contractor. Harold Construction, an amazing contractor that bid it out for this project. To be honest, not all state contractor projects go as smoothly as this one did. They were very fluid in working with design. We had many issues. The drainage for this entire area, this whole mountain, basically flows into this little area, and controlling that water, whether getting it into the ore pit cleanly, with getting it into piping or out into this drainage over here into the rail bed, was a big task, and I thank these guys for doing that. So obviously Tom Peterson and Kevin Butler from Howard Construction, I'd really like to thank. We have, I know, limited time, so I'll move on quickly, and my staff. This whole area right here that you see was a construction site. They did a great job cleaning it up, but my staff has done an amazing job cleaning this area out, especially for today. Once the contractor leaves, we take reins of it. So weeding, all the mulching, everything. The pavilion, this was not part of the capital project. Our regional crew, led by Bill DeBell, Lenny Miller, and all the staff and carpenters, master carpenters I should call them, all those posts were redone in 1 week. Stained, with the help of myself, park staff, that whole area, it was sunken, it was sort of dilapidated. And that's 1 week's worth of work from our crew. So I really like to thank those guys for doing that. So that's all I have to say. Linda, you can take the reins from here. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Chris. So I'm Linda Cooper, the Regional Director of the Taconic Region for State Parks and Historic Sites, and so excited to be here. When you're in Copake, which was our Taconic State Park, Copake was the very first state park in the Taconic region in 1927. better introduce Edgar Masters. He might be able to expand a little bit on that. But I think that to be in this park, which is one of our most northern parks in this region, and to be doing something that's not only good for the park, but good for the environment. So what we've done in turning over a new gateway entry is created a new parking area that takes the water as it comes down from the rain and the snow, and it allows the water to get filtered into the ground instead of running off and allowing the pollution to just sort of spread down right into the waters. And I think that as we've been doing this throughout our parks, it's really an exciting opportunity to blend that sort of aesthetic and that helping people and then also helping protect our natural resources. I know there was some mention of some of the acknowledgments, but I really have to take a moment to say we really thank the legislature. We thank Governor Cuomo. This is one of the New York Works projects. You know, when we get $90 million this year for state parks statewide, and you have to determine how does that go out. It isn't that many projects that actually get funded. So to be able to come here and take over $1 million to make a new improvement here may sound like a lot of money, 90, but it gets down to a very few number of projects when you have 209 parks throughout the state. So we're very grateful that the legislature and Senator, we really appreciate your being here, and Representative for the Assembly as well. It's so amazingly important to have your support as we try to bring all of our parks up to the level that they should be for the number of people that come through here. You will have lots of people starting to arrive again through today, through the whole weekend. You're sold out for the weekends. During the week, just because of the way people working schedules are really less filled during the weeks than we are on the weekends, but we really have a marvelous park that's well used. I wanted to actually ask Chuck White, who is the engineer from Barton & Judas, to be recognized to come up here and actually, it was his design of this
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I can't take all the credit. We certainly have a strong team at B&L. We've had wonderful opportunities to work with Garrett and past projects and his team as well. It was a collaborative effort between Park's team and Barton & Judas to come up with the project. We're thrilled. It couldn't come out better, in my opinion. Thrilled to be part of the project. Thank you very much.
As Chuck said, Garrett Jobson, who is in charge of all of our capital facilities. Garrett. Dan Seymour, our project engineer. Dan. And Mike Pileggi, who also assisted on all of our technical services. These are all collaborative efforts, and we really appreciate everybody, including the contractors in Aero Construction, who were marvelous at what they did. We're so pleased that you all could join us here today, and I'd like to take a moment to let Senator Marchione come up and share with her perspectives.
Thank you so much. Such a pleasure to be here with you today on this very exciting day. What a beautiful park you have here. Congratulations to all of you and your hard work and your foresight. Your design, absolutely beautiful. And all of your hard work, all of you. We have so many jewels and gems in our state parks in New York State. We are so fortunate to be here in New York and to enjoy these parks where people can come and recreate, enjoy their families. And it's through all of your hard work and your preparation here and wonderful programs like the Parks. Those are tremendous programs. And congratulations to you all, because as you said, and there's only $90 million on it, which we're thrilled in the legislature to be able to have put in, going through some things this year to get that in. It doesn't go as far as you would expect that it would go. But and then I came through the Braille Trail when that occurred, and I was shocked. There were 150 people there. It was an amazing opening. People in Hollywood County are just tremendous individuals. It just, I was at the Anthem Fire District was celebrating its 75th anniversary, and I heard the gentleman who were involved in the fire department say, well, yeah, we could save money on this new building because we helped, and Anna Baltimore, the fire commissioners helping actually do the work. And I came here today and I listened to Chris talk about who is the park manager, going out and cleaning the walls. I have so much respect for people who not only expect others to do things and expect money to come from the state, but care so deeply about what they're doing that they roll up their sleeves and they get involved in the project and you make wonderful things like this happen today. I'm thrilled to be here with all of you. I want to congratulate each and every one of you, and I guess I'm going to do a tour as soon as this is over so I can see more of your beautiful work. So congratulations and thank you for having me.
So Assemblywoman Dee Dee Barrett is a frequent visitor to the park, but she's unable to be here today, but in her stead, she sent us Ty Stevens.
So, Linda, and thank you all. I want to congratulate everyone for their hard work, for this wonderful design, piggybacking on what the Senator said. Also, I mean, the fact that this could be done with in such an environmentally friendly way to protect our natural resources is also, a very positive thing. Obviously, something we all care about in this region. And just look around on a day like this, as beautiful as it is. You can understand why people come here and why this is such an economic driver for the region, for tourists. And I just want to say on behalf of the Assemblywoman, we're thrilled that this could be supported through the legislature, through New York Works. Anytime we can get money from the state here into the district, we're happy to be here and to celebrate that with you. I see many familiar faces from Statsburg. Recently, they just unveiled their new portico, which is gorgeous. And now to be here and to share this with all of you, I'm thrilled. I'm very happy that I could represent her today. Dee Dee's on the Tourism and Parks Committee. This is something that's very important for her, to her personally, and our next mailer will actually be. She wanted me to make this point to you guys that we'll be promoting our parks in our region throughout the district, and that's something that we want to make sure that we can help with. And again, thanks for having me. Thanks for your hard work, for all that you do, and for the role that you play in driving the economy here in our region.
So as you can tell, parks don't run by themselves. They run with many people, lots of support from Chris Ricardo, who's the park manager, and all the staff that's here from this area.
Green shirts in the back.
Office, the green shirts in the back, and throughout the park. But we also run with a group of commissioners who are from throughout our region, who volunteer their time, but who are appointed by the governor to serve as voices, overseeing citizen voices, overseeing the parks. And we are very lucky to have one of the members of the New York Council of Parks, the Taconic Regional Commissioner, Edgar Masters, with us today.
Very nice introduction as a commissioner. My real function is that I'm the chauffeur of the 1941 Cadillac to drive Miss Deborah Cohen around the Taconic State Park. I think it was 4 or 5 years ago that the Friends of Taconic State Park were getting going, and Dr. Lucy Waletsky, who is chairman of the Taconic State Park Commission and chairman of the State Council of Parks, attended that event, and we met, and shortly after that she asked me to be a commissioner in the Taconic region. I was thrilled to do that. I have to say, primarily because I believe in the parks and wanted to be a part of their ongoing functioning. But more than that, it was a family thing for me. My grandfather was a founding commissioner, along with Franklin Delano Roosevelt, a fairly unknown man at that time, who eventually became governor of New York and other things, and 2 or 3 other men. And the concern was here in this area because the Bashfish Falls and the land surrounding it, which covered both in Massachusetts and in New York State, was in private ownership. It had belonged to a hotel. The hotel had burned in 1919, I think, to the ground, was not rebuilt. And there was concern that the private development would turn the falls and the surrounding area into a real tourist, unattractive, kind of available on a for pay basis. These men got together with the help of then Governor Lehman, I think, and a young man from the New York area named Robert Moses, that formed the Taconic State Park Commission, acquired the land in New York State, which is now the Taconic State Park. I think that was acquired in 1925. The park began in 1927. It took a little while to get it going. And as they say, the rest is history. The Massachusetts part, where the Bash Bish Falls are located, remained in private ownership, was for sale, and because of my grandfather's interest in the parks, he bought the falls and the surrounding 300 acres, and he owned it until the state of Massachusetts did what New York State had done, created their park. At that time, he sold it for what he paid for back to Massachusetts for the same price that he paid for. That's how all of this came and got started, and why it was for me kind of a family thing to become commissioner. Now, I bored you with all of that family stuff, but it is kind of interesting history. It's been said Taconic State Park is one of the oldest state parks in the Taconic region. I think you said it was, or Chris said it was the oldest. Begun in 1927, it has always been renowned for its camping, hiking trails, superb oar pit swimming, and if you haven't swum there, you've missed an experience of a lifetime. Even if you can't swim, try it. Plenty of lifeguards. And it's the major entrance to the Bash Bish Falls State Park, just over the line in Massachusetts. Today we celebrate a new parking lot, better play fields, a restored picnic pavilion, a widened road, and a much needed pedestrian walkway. This is pretty mundane stuff, certainly not the basis for legends. But let us put what we have here today in perspective of what, in addition, has been done to this park in the last 5 years. The Little Person's Pool has been completely rebuilt. An attractive park headquarters building has replaced a trailer. Within the Copake Ironworks, the red brick engine house has been repaired, and the iconic blast furnace, long a deteriorating, vegetation-covered pile of stones and brick, has been sheltered under a roof, the brick arches and bowling pin interior stabilized, and its invasive vines and weeds removed. And more work is being planned in the next year. On top of all this, the rail trail is being extended to Hillsdale, and Dutchess County willing, the gap between Millerton and Boston Corners will be closed. So while this park may be old, its resources are new and growing. On behalf of the commissioners, I just want to thank all the people, the staff, again, the background, they do the work. Chris Ricard, park manager, great help to the Friends of Taconic State Park, President Mildred Zelli is with us, his treasurer, Deb Cohn is with us, Garrett Jobson for overseeing getting us the money to do these wonderful things, Ray Doherty, who is not here, but is the general park superintendent, and of course the person who signs all of your paychecks, Linda Cooper. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Edgar. He's just an incredibly eloquent and hardworking representative, and he too is out there slinging it and making everything happen in the park, and we're very grateful for the good work that you give us. Edgar mentioned the Friends, and we're so grateful to Mildred Zelli to be here. And she's the president of the Friends, and Deb Cohen, as you mentioned, the treasurer. And the Friends have been really active in promoting the park and doing the events, doing the educational forums, and they're going to talk a little bit about this and what you all are up to. Edgar gave you a pretty good overview of the major construction work we've been doing over at the Ironworks site. I'm a retired history teacher, so that's a project that's very, very near and dear to my heart. And it's exciting to me to see how much has been done there, and also exciting in a way to see what still has to be done there. In addition to the restoration of the Ironworks site, the Friends Group in the past 2 years particularly, but really from our inception 6 years ago now, has been involved in having additional programs which praise and extol the beauty, the natural beauty and resources of the park. For example, this weekend after tomorrow, we are going to initiate National Moth Week with speakers from Connecticut who are experts on bugs and moths, and we're going to do set up traps for moths Friday night. And so if you're really interested in seeing what flies around at night, you know, those things that come in and bat at your light when you turn it on the porch at night. Well, we're going to bait the traps. We're not going to kill them, but they'll lure them in. So if you're looking for bugs at your house elsewhere in Columbia County, they'll be over here Friday night. And then Saturday morning, we're having a general workshop for kids and their parents. And then keynote speaker at our annual meeting this Thursday night is also going to speak on moths and bugs. And this is the week to find out about bugs. It's really been fun for me. I'm just about to end my term as president, and it's been a real pleasure for me to do this. When I was a child, a friend of mine, her father took us to a place in New Jersey. I'm from New Jersey, and one of those campers that became a full-time resident up here because my husband and I fell in love with the park 30 years ago. But he took us to a place in Monmouth County, New Jersey, Alair Park. Only it wasn't anything then, it was just a deserted village. And it was an ironworks site, and I've often said to people when I came up here, oh my goodness, we have more right here in Taconic State Park than they do at Alair. New Jersey has turned that into a historic site as well as a state campground. And then I've also visited the one in Hopewell, Pennsylvania, southeastern Pennsylvania, which is run by the National Park Service. And really, we have right here in Copake Falls, in our beloved park, as a good historic representation of 19th century ironmaking. And my dream is to have Copake Falls become a Hopewell or an Alair. And I think we're well on our way. And really thanks to Edgar and Deb for all their hard work in making this dream come true for all of us. Thank you. So you can see it's an amazing team. It really is. And there's another part of the team I wanted to recognize. The Holland Valley Rail Trail is sort of part of Taconic State Park. And Lisa DeLue, the executive director of the Holland Valley Rail Trail, is here. So thank you, Lisa, for joining. One last person to thank, and of course, is Commissioner Harvey. You know, our executive staff in Albany oversees all of the parks, and it is really her leadership that we've been able to help, and that of Andy Beers, we've been able to help have the New York Works and have the legislature understand its importance, the government understand its importance, and then be able to work with the dollars that come down to the regional level. So we really thank our extraordinary executive staff and commissioner as well. We have a commemorative stone here, and we would love if State Senator Ty and Chris up to help and Mildred.
I don't know if anybody checked to see if there's anything unusual, so we could be a total. decide which way we'll bring it. We'll just pick it up like so. Say we pull it right up.
Okay. You
guys ready?
Instead of a ribbon cutting, this is an
Unveiling. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
So I want to thank you for taking the time to join us.
For a picture
And is there anyone else that wanted to say something?
Well, just one thing is this whole thing. After everyone spoke, I just had this thought in my head: is that the amount of interrelationships that have gone on between all these groups. The design of this project, we didn't talk about it. Yes, there's asphalt, but if you look underneath your feet, those are paving stones. They're permeable pavement, sustainability paving. And I just saw a mother and her son walking barefoot from the parking lot to the swimming area. There's not many parks, you couldn't do that a year ago. I mean, this is one of the biggest, that's really what this parking lot was built for, and I just saw it happen right as we're all here talking. It was pretty amazing. They walked up to the car, both barefoot, and back down, and they were loving it. And their feet weren't burning from the sun. So good job, Garrett.
Just pose you guys for a quick picture.